Hey, it's Ben Kuzma from Province Sports. Welcome to our latest edition of the Fives, an off-season look at everything encompassing the Canucks. Draft week is coming up quickly in Buffalo. Draft week is not only draft week, folks, it's trade week. We expect a lot of things to be percolating with the Vancouver Canucks, and a lot of things that they should and shouldn't do. So this is what we're dealing with in our latest edition of the Fives. And really, when they head to Buffalo, I've got a list of 5 things that they should do. Number 1 is shut out the noise. There's so much talk about what the Canucks should and shouldn't do heading into Buffalo. They should be clear of their conviction. They're going to get a very good player at number 5. Teams are calling about that pick. You could trade down. I think it's really important to understand that you're going to get a very good player at number 5. They've identified Pierre-Luc Dubois of the Quebec League, big center who could be part of the succession plan. If that's your plan, stick to it. If you don't get him, and Matthew Tkachuk is there at number 5, the left winger who could be a future first liner, do it. Make the pick and move on. I think it's really important that they understand the centers of attention. I mean, things could happen above them. Edmonton could do all kinds of things at the number 4 pick, and if those guys aren't there, there are other guys. Logan Brown is a 6'6" center with the Winds and Spitfires who's been mentioned a lot, connected a lot with the Canucks. They've interviewed him as well. So I think it's important at this draft that the Canucks understand they have a positional need. They need to draft a center. They need to draft somebody with first-line potential and who can score. I think another important thing is to hammer out the Dan Hamhuis situation. I mean, we know he's an unrestricted free agent. We know they got Eric Goodbranson. Dan Hamhuis is probably a number 5 here now. It's interesting the teams are already active. The Dallas Stars getting a 5th-round pick to sending Goligoski's rights, an unrestricted free agent, to Arizona on Thursday. So that's something the Canucks might want to think about next week in Buffalo. Dan Hamhuis is probably worth a lot higher pick. There'll be a lot of teams interested in him. The other thing that they should be wary of is the depth of D. You know, the Canucks have done very well in the past in drafting defensemen in the 5th round. They got Ben Hutton in the 5th round. They got Kevin Bieksa in the 5th round. They have a 5th round choice. They have a 6th. They have 2 7ths. There are guys to be had in the later rounds, and this is where a scouting department really earns its keep. Getting those guys in the later round, I think it's really important in Buffalo that they understand they better add a defenseman. And of course, the last thing is a goaltender. I mean, in the late round, the Canucks have to be very wary. I mean, they've got Ryan Miller for 1 more year. They've got Jacob Markstrom. They've got Thatcher Demko. They've got Gertig. They've got Bachman. They've got guys in the minors. They've got Joe Canada, who's a Group 6 unrestricted free agent. I think it's really important that they understand in the last 3 rounds, I came across about 8 goaltenders they might want to have a look at. So that's really important. Of course, there's the other side of the coin, things they should avoid. There's no such thing as a sure thing when you get to draft week. I think we all know that they really need to get a first-line winger, a free agent. There's been all kinds of talk about Louis Eriksson in Boston. The Bruins are talking feverishly about re-signing him. So you better have a plan B. Is that Milan Lucic, or is there too much pressure here for him? There are other guys to consider. Troy Brouwer's going to hit a home run. Can Kyle Okposo play in the first line? I don't think so. Other things they really have to be careful out is understand where they are. I mean, hope versus reality. The Canucks are going to be healthier next year. They should be better. They should be younger. They should be faster. But they got the 27th ranked power play and the 29th ranked offense. They need offense. Really important that they don't have a problem when they get to the podium. There are good players to be had out of the BC Hockey League. There's good players to be had out of the U.S. Hockey League. This is a global game now. It's not just about major, junior. And I think the most important thing I want to pass along, having been to so many drafts, is don't have too many cooks in the kitchen. Be firm of your conviction. When you sit down at the table, you're going to make a pick, make sure it's a singular voice. A lot of people can get involved, or when a rival GM comes over and offers you a pick or a player and you're taking a timeout and you don't seem to know what you're doing, make sure you know what you're doing when you go to the podium. Make sure you have a decision. That's so important. These guys work year-round to draft a player that they've identified. Make sure you take them. Ben Kuzma, Province Sports.